Okay, we'll call back to order. Oh, now Mrs. Parker's gone.
Thank you. We're just doing other business here.
Really?
Well, F3 is update on special education. Dr. Cyrus?
Carrie Mills, our executive director, will present this.
Good evening. I have my monthly special ed update for you. The first thing that I'd like to give you an update on is our action plan, our famous action plan that you are already familiar with. We just wanted to show you an example of the first page. It's just slightly different than the one that you had in your packet. Dr. Carol Miller, our communications consultant, Eric Hansey, sitting right here, our action plan manager, and myself, we have worked hours and hours and hours, and we revised this document pretty much on a daily basis, if not several times a day. So we are working hard to try and complete this document. We have completed it, but we keep revising it. So this is just a format change. So by the time you see the final document, it may have yet a different format. But I just wanted to walk you through it just a little bit. We have 4 goals, as you know. We have the action plan is intended to provide accountability by identifying the persons responsible for each goal, the target date for completion, the percentage of completion to date, and the evidence to support the level of completion. So what you see there is just in the first page, you have goal number 1, which is improve communication and information structures. So each of those goals has actions, and then each of the actions has objectives, so to speak. So you have a number of FCMAT objectives under each action. And so if you look across, we just have projected completion date, which is probably optimistic, but the entire goal, we have a completion date of January 31st for this example. And right now, the 76.3 is a percentage of all of those objectives under that goal that make up that percentage. So that percentage changes on a daily basis. As we progress on the action plan, so does the percentage change. So we are looking for evidence under each column. We don't want to say that we have completed it without having the evidence to support it. So we really are looking critically at the evidence. I think we're pretty hard on ourselves as far as giving ourselves credit. We don't ever say that we're at 100% for many of the items. Some of them are products that are completed, and we can say they're 100% done. Some of them are products, or let's see, I'm sorry. Processes, thank you, my prompt. Processes, and so, for example, professional development might be a process. I can't say that we'll ever be completed. We will be ongoing. We don't ever want to say that we're not going to have any more professional development or instructional supplies or things like that. Other things that are more cut and dry, such as one of the objectives was establishing job-alike meetings. So you can see that those job-alike meetings have been established and held monthly, so we can say that those have been completed at 100%. So it's that type of thing. Currently, we have 116 objectives. These keep changing too. And I told you that I would have the completed document, which, as I mentioned, I have right here, but we are continuing to reformat and look at the evidence. I'd like to have the completed document in the board brief November the 12th. I really would like Barbicani to review it, proof it, format, and then have a polished document that I can submit. I plan to have a stakeholders meeting on November the 17th following that, so I can have input from the stakeholders. I can inform them of the progress that we've made so far. And then I will bring back the product after that to the following board meeting based on that input.
I think on number 21 there, you can make that 100% because I pulled it off the website today.
Oh, yes, thank you. Yes. Change it, Eric.
Yeah, it's got it right here.
Yes.
And I think it's in Spanish too.
Yes, we do. I was going to mention that on our updates on the web. So Barbara Chiani put our two exciting things today on the web, the organizational chart and the frequently asked questions and answers. So that is our newest edition. We continue to update the web, so we are in progress on all of these.
I think you mentioned you wanted to have this complete by the November 12th board brief.
Yes,
I think board
yes.
briefs are the 5th, so you better move your schedule. I think we have a meeting on the 12th, don't we? Isn't that the normal?
We send a board brief
that's-
out this next Friday.
Yeah, but
This
she was-
Friday?
She said November 12th.
That would be the following board brief.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay. All right, then that's it for that. Thanks. So just to continue to tell you that we are, the special ed handbooks, I keep coming back and saying that they're in progress. We keep asking for input from other people. And so now that we've asked principals, we've asked some SEEK representatives, and we continue to get feedback. We've gotten some feedback recently from those groups. We've also gotten some additional feedback from the SELPA. So we keep updating that document as well. So that's the reason that that's being delayed. So we're hoping to get that completed as well, both of those. I'd like to give you an update on the Staff Special Education Parent Advisory Committee. I'm very excited to be able to tell you that we're having our first meeting next week, next Wednesday. We're having our meeting from 4 o'clock to 5:30 at the district office. And just to let you know, I had one of my temporary secretaries call all of the parents that were representatives, the principals, all sent me representatives with exception of 2 charter schools, so I'm just thrilled. I have 18 parents represented on this committee right now. I also have, thank you Susan for being our board liaison. Also have a CSEA president, Paul Rooney, representing the instructional assistants. Also have teacher representatives, Mary Gaston, visually impaired itinerant teacher, and Debbie Rankin, who's a special ed teacher at Monroe. Also have a principal representative, Mike Vale, will be on this group. So we're very excited. We will have a translator available. We have a balanced representation of disabilities. We have balanced ages, grades, ethnicities, and so it all has worked out according to the plan. So our first meeting, as I said, is next week, so I'm looking forward to that. And let's see, I already talked to you about our new district website updates and our e-news today. And the only other thing I wanted to mention was the governor's veto. So just very briefly, I know Eric Smith is going to talk about that briefly as well. I just wanted to reassure you, you've probably heard, that the governor had a line item veto to AB 3632 mandate. So I know that's really a concern for the parents. I wanted to assure everyone that we have addressed this at the SELPA. We have been discussing this and planning for it. And there has been a meeting where we decided to have an interim MOU developed with mental health so that we can continue to provide services for our students in the same manner that we have. So while all of this is getting sorted out in the courts, our students will continue to receive services. And then we have some plans going forward, and they will get sorted out on the MOU committee, of which I am one of the representatives. So I'll keep you updated, and I know Eric will give you a little bit more information. So that is my update.
Questions? Comments?
I'd like to ask Dr. Mills to add something. I know that you comment regularly on Carol Miller's work on procedural handbooks and the action plan and working on difficult cases. Could you comment on her current work, because it came up earlier as we were going through approving
Yes.
personnel?
Well, let's see. She's pretty much had a hand in many of the things, many of the projects that we are talking about tonight. So she's definitely working on the action plan with Eric and I. She's been instrumental in the special ed handbook. She's really, really put a lot of hours in the special ed handbooks, both of them, providing tons of help that I could never devote that amount of time to, so that's been really, really helpful. And she's been helping us with the district website, you know, helping me continue to keep in contact with Barbara Chiani and Linda Steele to provide our updates. And then she has been helping me with a couple of difficult cases.
Okay. Mrs. Parker?
Thank you, and thank you so much to Mr. Hansey, too. This is a nice way to see things laid out and see the progress that's being made, and I really appreciate that. Just a quick question for the handbooks. 3 handbooks, is that correct?
2,
2.
yes.
Is
One
there-
for the classified staff and one for the certificated staff.
And is there a parent handbook that's being worked on, or no?
It's the SELPA parent handbook.
Okay, so that's just going to be the
Yes.
one that's made available for parents?
Yes.
Okay. For the 2 that the district is creating, do you have an estimate now for the final?
You know, we keep thinking it's finalized, and then someone else submits
That's another suggestion?
suggestions,
Mhm.
so we never seem to get done. I'm certainly hoping by my next update, it should be finalized.
Great.
I know Barbara County has already proved the one version that we thought was final, so we hope to get that input back.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
thank you.
I just wanted to comment on the action plan format looks really good. You know, we've looked at so many of these over and over again. I think our eyes started to go. But this is a nice, clean format that's very user-friendly, so I appreciate it. And I know you said it's a work in progress, so if it changes, fine. But it is nice the way it is. I also just want to note what is a really healthy recognition of the fact that a lot of the things in the FCMAT report are works in progress that will never be finished. And so we don't ever want to see 100% in, for instance, the training, professional development column. So I think that's important for us to always keep in our head. And regarding the handbooks, I'm assuming they'll be online,
Yes,
so that those also will always be a work in progress, I suspect, even though I know you want to
Absolutely.
have a hard copy to actually give people, but
we will have a hard copy. I've been talking with Barbara County about having it in a notebook format so that we can update it as needed when we have new procedures. We can simply, slip
That's a
out
good
one
idea.
page and slip in another to keep it
kinda like our
current.
policies, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We have directory, for example, and I'm hoping that once we get our staff, we'll keep our staff, so we don't have to update that page.
Good, thank you very
Yes.
much.
Well, I just want to echo how much I appreciate the format. It is so easy to read and understand. And I especially love the column on evidence to show what has actually been done, as you said, rather than just saying this has been accomplished or this is
Right.
75% completed, to actually know what aspect of it or what part of it has been completed. That's particularly useful, but just in general, it's such a great format. It's nice to have these kinds of documents that make reading them much easier. So thanks, and I appreciate
Thank you.
the work that all of you have done, Mr. Hansey, yourself, Dr. Mills. I mean, just it's been wonderful. Thanks.
Thank you. And I forgot to mention, this is all a development of the software that Dr. Noel brought to us, the concept draw. So thank goodness that Eric, our action plan manager, knows how to use it, because you'd be in trouble with me. But Eric has a great handle on it, so it really has been helpful.
When this does see the light of day, the benefit will be that we know when we got the FCMAT report, and we know what today is, but we don't know what's happened in between. And this will finally give us a document that says, hey, we haven't been sitting on our hands.
Oh, no.
There's been a lot done, and this will be documented proof. And I think that's extremely important to our credibility. And I want to thank your entire staff, because I have a feeling that everybody in your staff has been involved.
Yes,
And,
they have.
And you said you hope your staff stays. I talked to you the other day, and you said you didn't have a secretary. Has that been taken care of yet?
No.
No? Okay. Okay.
And I asked you to be my secretary, but you said no.
I said no. Do your phones ring?
I think my phone's ring. I have
Okay.
been in another place the past couple days
Okay.
doing something else, so
Okay.
working, but
Good.
not in my office. But I think that the phones are ringing.
Okay.
Yes.
Carrie Mills has been locked in vital negotiations over the last 2 days, and I had the opportunity to observe it firsthand since I was locked in the same room for 2 entire days. There were many of us, and you know, it just gobbles up hours and hours of a lot of people's time.
Well, thank you and your entire staff. I see they're here, and we appreciate everything everybody's doing on that staff. It's good to see it working.
Thank you.
And our phones aren't ringing, so that's
Oh,
good.
good.
Yeah.
Good, thank you.